Hey, what's up everyone? Tedrick85 here, and today I'm going to be talking about Episode 2 of Book 4 of The Legend of Korra, titled Korra Alone. As you probably expected, this is kind of like an allusion to the episode Zuko Alone that was in Book 2 of Avatar The Last Airbender. And also what you would expect, this episode is mostly about Korra and her confronting her inner demons and that and trying to get on it with life after her battle with Zahir. You see her after the earthbending battle she had from the last episode, and that she's trying to group herself back together in the restroom and that. And as we can see in the episode, she's having a really hard time getting a new lease on life with her incognito self, and that she's trying not to really make herself stand out. But unfortunately, she's being haunted by her inner demon, which has manifested itself into when she is in the avatar state. And she tries fighting it off in an alley and that, using firebending and that, and unfortunately for her, people stop by and ask her if she needs any help in that, and she says no, and she just goes off and does her own thing. And then after we see this and that, we get to see like a little bit of what her life has been over the past 3 years and that, and we get to see Tenzin, Mako, Bolin, and Asami wish her goodbye in that, and here Asami really wanted to go with her in that to help her recuperate, but as much as Korra liked the gesture, she said that she pretty much wanted time for herself and that for her to heal, and then she needed some time to reflect, so here she spent some time at the Southern Water Tribe, and we saw she had sleepless nights and that. She wasn't eating, she wasn't sleeping and that. This got to a point where her mom, Senna, got really worried and that, and she got Korra when she was looking out the balcony, and Senna pleaded with her daughter to go see Katara and that and see if she could get healed and that, and Korra thought about it and she decided to go seek help from Katara and that, which she ended up doing and that, and as Korra found out, this ended up not being really easy in that, because Katara, even though she can heal her physically, she tells Korra that she needs to heal herself mentally, which, needless to say, is easier said than done, because Korra is still traumatized from that battle with Zahir and that, and here she tries walking on her own and that, and she keeps failing and that, and she got really frustrated and that, and took out her anger on Katara. But Katara was pretty cool about it, and she said that she understood her frustrations and that, and Katara proceeded to tell Korra about when Aang found out that his entire race got raped out by the Fire Nation, and the trauma that he faced, and how he was able to cope with that, and able to find peace through all that, and Korra thought about it, and she figures, you know what, if Aang can do it, I can do it, and as we can see, with a little bit of struggle and that, and a little bit of concentration in that she was able to walk herself to Naga while getting out of the wheelchair and that. So, yeah, although she's able to get much progress physically in that, she's still not altogether mentally in that, which Tenzin ended up visiting her while she was recuperating, and Korra felt confident that she was pretty much getting close to being back to normal. She was eager to see her show Tenzin her abilities in front of a few of her sparring people there, but as we saw it, she ended up getting defeated rather easily in that, and she felt kind of embarrassed by it, but at the same time, Tenzin, much like his mother, Katara, he completely understood and told Korra that she needs to be her priority and not worry about what the rest of the world is doing, which, no, Korra, being the Avatar, she does worry about it, and she did inquire to Tenzin about what was going on, and of course, he was telling her about how Kavir and Bolin, Varrick are trying to stabilize the Earth Kingdom and that, and told her what Mako and Bolin were doing, as well as Asami trying to rebuild Republic City and that, and but yeah, Korra she wants to help, but she can't because she knows that she's trying to get over this current funk that she's in, so Then she decided she didn't want to be at the Southern Water Tribe anymore, so she ends up sitting with her parents, Hanrak and Senna. She told them that she wanted to go back to Republic City and that to meet her friends and that, in which they understood in that, and they asked if she wanted them to, if they wanted to get a boat from the Order of the White Lotus to take her to Republic City, and she goes no, that she'd rather do it herself. But as we could see later on in the episode, she didn't go to Republic City. As a matter of fact, she's traveling all over the world and that, and we get to see her chopping her hair off. We get to see her getting rid of her Water Tribe garments and that, and wearing this green Earth Kingdom outfit and that, and here she's going all over the world. Which I should say, which I can't believe I forgot about this, but before her transformation, she arrived at this village, and it wasn't just any village. No, it happened to be the same village that was featured in the Painting Lady episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender. You know, the one that was, for those of you that watched Avatar: The Last Airbender Book 3. It was the same village that got overrun by the Fire Nation and had all that really disgusting water and that in it. Well, it's that same place, and she happened to see the fish merchant there, which he was really excited to see her, and that for being the Avatar. And she showed him showed her a picture of a picture he took of Aang, which is pretty funny because remember that trick that he did with the balls, and that he was trying to impress Katara with the balls. Well, apparently this vendor got a picture of him doing the same thing with a bunch of seaweed wraps, and I had to chuckle when I saw that, and I looked at it, I'm like, yep, that's definitely something Aang would do for a photo op. You could tell even though he was serious earlier in the series, the Korra series, that you could tell he still had a little bit of a fun side, so I was really happy to see that. Now, when she was at this village, there was a bunch of thieves there, and the vendors, knowing that she was the Avatar, he wanted her to take care of things, but much like she did with her the firebending people that she fought against at the air temple, at the Southern Water Tribe, rather, she didn't stand any match against the thieves, and the one woman that was living in the village looked at the vendor and really asked him if he was really sure that she was the Avatar, especially with her going down that easily. So this was what prompted her to completely change her image and get her hair cut and get her clothes changed and stuff like that. And while she's trekking around the world and that, she goes into the spirit world and she goes to the Tree of Life in order to get to meditate to try to reconnect with her avatar spirit and that, which along the way, while she was meditating, a bunch of spirits and that saw her doing this. One of them was questioning whether or not she was the Avatar because it didn't really feel a whole lot of Rava's presence with her, and Korra explained to the spirits and that she's been trying to heal and she's trying to reconnect with her Avatar self, and the one spirit says that that's probably the reason why she wasn't able to sense anything in that, but yeah, she spent some time in the spirit world and trying to get at least a little bit of help, but unfortunately to no avail. So she continues to trek throughout the world, and here she thought she saw Rava in the middle of a desert, and she was excited about it. But once she got to Rava, she found out that it was a mirage, and she became completely disheartened by that. So, but yeah, and then we see her going to this town and where she sees her demon, her Avatar spirit self, and ended up leading her to the earthbending fight that we saw at the end of the last episode. And like we saw in that episode, she ended up getting her rear end handed to her. So, but yeah, she ended up going off in that, and here she noticed this small white dog. This even happened in the beginning of the episode. This small white dog was leading her to these places and here it ended up leading her to the swamp, the same swamp that was featured in Book 2 of Avatar: The Last Airbender. And here come to find out, the small white dog happened to be the one spirit that she saw while she was meditating in the Tree of Life. and she was wondering why it led her to it. And here she ends up confronting her avatar spirit self once again, and she tries to fight against it and at first, and then she tries to escape, but it ends up wrapping its chains around her and dragging her down into this liquid metal, like pretty much like the poison that she got infected with at the season finale of Book 3, and she ends up getting sucked down, and here she ends up awakening into this cave, which, I gotta admit, this is my favorite part, and if you saw my last entry, you can probably imagine why, because we finally get to see Toph in this episode, which is awesome. And, here we get to see, which, at first Korra sees this weird old lady with long white hair hunched over and that, and she was wondering how she knew so much about her and that, and until Korra put two to two together, and she's like, oh my god, this is Toph. And then, because, Toph was saying about, haven't seen her, and, not haven't seen her, but, she was friends with her back in her past life, and that's when she was able to piece things together. And then I love at the very end, and she goes, "It's nice to see you again, Twinkle Toes." Which I about had an orgasm when I heard that, because I was like, "Oh my God, this is the old Toph from the old series." So, but yeah, needless to say, I'm super psyched about seeing Toph again. I know she's my favorite character of the entire series, this one and the old one, and I really hope she has a prominent role in this. And what I'm really hoping for is that, since Korra seems to be still a little bit weak mentally trying to battle her inner demons, I hope Toph ends up becoming like her mentor of sorts to try to get her to be strong mentally. And that, much like she was trying to do with Aang on that one episode of Book 2 titled Bitter Work, when she was trying to get him to think like an earthbender, trying to get him mentally and physically strong. Well, I'm hoping Toph kind of does the same thing with Korra, because Korra is still easily not 100% yet, and, but yeah, she's pretty much isolated herself from that, and, hopefully Toph gets her to where she was originally, gets her to be the strong individual that she was before her battle with Zahir, and, I really hope, like I said before, that, Toph ends up be a really prominent role, be like a really strong mentor to Avatar Korra, much like Tenzin was, and but yeah, I'm stoked to see exactly how much more Toph we're gonna see. I just can't. You could tell just by the way she talks, and even by the way she looks, and that she had those eyes about her. You could tell that it's definitely Toph. That's which I have to say one more thing before I end this video, and that has to do with the rest of her gang, and that Bolin, Mako, and Asami, because they did write to her letters and that off and on, but the only time that Korra actually wrote back was actually to Asami, which maybe I'm reading too much into this, but I think that letter she sent to Asami spoke volumes, because of all the people that she wrote that letter to, she decided to write to Asami and not Mako and Bolin. And I know there's lots of people say, oh, well, are you trying to ship Asami or whatever, but I'm not necessarily saying that, but you can tell that she really connects with Asami the most, and that she has the strongest bond with Asami's, and to see her take her time out to write her that letter really shows how much Asami means to her, and I was tickled pink to hear her write that letter and that to her, and because you can definitely tell, although she thought about Mako and Bolin, she knew that Asami really cared for her, and I think this is her way of saying thanks and that, and don't worry about me, I'll be okay, and you'll see me when I'm all ready and that. But yeah, I just can't wait to see her reunite not only with Asami, but Mako and Bolin, and hopefully Toph will be able to be a bigger role in that, as it is in that, so. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say about this episode, and needless to say, I can't wait for the next one to come out, which hopefully we'll see more of Toph in that one, so, but yeah, thank you for watching this video, and, hopefully this book gets better and better, which I'm pretty sure it will, so, again, thank you for watching, and I will see you again next time.